This morning, we're following breaking news overnight. A Madison police officer is hurt in a crash. The developing details.
Plus, conditions are going to remain very summer-like this week. I'll have the full forecast coming up.
And 3 people are dead and several injured after a mass shooting in North Carolina. It's Sunday morning. Thanks for joining us. Today is September 28th, and I'm Michelle Renee Quinn. We begin this morning with breaking news overnight. 3 people are dead and at least 8 more injured in North Carolina after a shooting. Around 9:30 last night, Southport Police Department responded to shots fired at restaurant American Fish Company. Just before the call, a boat with 1 person on it traveling on the Cape Fear River stopped briefly at the American Fish Company and opened fire. Officials confirmed the victims were patrons of the American Fish Company.
So if you're not familiar with that location, the American Fish Company is one of our unique areas here, one of our establishments where patrons will sit out on the water, actually facing the water. And unfortunately, that is where our suspect was located taking shots.
The Coast Guard crew detained this suspect, who is now held by the Oak Island Police Department and will be turned over to Southport PD for questioning. Let's check in now with meteorologist Jacob Montesano. He's live from our studio in Madison. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle Renee. Temperatures a little bit on the cooler side right now. Upper 40s for Madison, but lower 40s and upper 30s for areas further north. Still in the 50s in far southern Wisconsin. But taking a look at the temperature change from yesterday morning, La Crosse and surrounding areas around 10 to 20 degrees cooler. Pretty similar in temperature the further south you go. But as we get to the afternoon, we're actually going to see temperatures very similar to what they were yesterday for you folks in La Crosse. Now, we are seeing some patchy fog out there, but not as bad as what we saw yesterday, where we did have a few dense fog advisories out. And looking at the forecast throughout the day, this is Madison. Plenty of sunshine, highs in the upper 70s, a tad bit cooler compared to yesterday. If anything, the temperature is a bit cooler is probably some good news, as it definitely got pretty hot yesterday. So plenty of sunshine for Madison, also plenty of sunshine for La Crosse. But for you folks yesterday, going to be similar to what it was today, as you folks saw highs in the upper 70s. So plenty of sunshine really across the entire area. Hard to complain too much about the forecast, although it once again will definitely get a little bit warm. A few lower 80s will be possible in southwest Wisconsin, but otherwise it will be pretty quiet. Now, conditions are going to remain quiet, but I'll have more details on the forecast for the upcoming week still coming up a bit later.
All right, we'll be checking in shortly. Jacob, thank you. This morning, an officer has serious injuries after being involved in a squad car crash last night. Madison police say the officer is in stable condition. They were hit after helping a local agency. MPD did not confirm exactly where this happened, and Monona Police Department say they will have an update on this situation. As of 3:30 this morning, no further details regarding the officer's injuries are available, and our station is not confirming the gender nor name of the officer at this time, out of respect for the family. This is a developing story, and we will continue to follow it and give you all of the latest updates. You can stay up to date by downloading the News 3 Now mobile app wherever you get your apps. We now turn to more developing news, now out of Rock County, as a SWAT team was activated early yesterday after a man allegedly armed himself with a knife at a commuter lot in Newville. Several agencies responded to the 1100 block of North Geode Road at 1 a.m. That's near the McDonald's. The sheriff's office said the man had an active felony arrest warrant, and attempts to contact him were initially unsuccessful. He refused to leave his vehicle. After several hours, the man was eventually taken into custody. The sheriff's office said in addition to the warrant, the man will face new criminal charges from this incident and will appear in jail court at a later date. Around 20 people are displaced this morning after the city decided they will not renew the contract for the Dairy Drive homeless encampment. Roughly 30 people united in protest to speak out against this decision yesterday. They met outside of the encampment to make T-shirts and tote bags that they plan to wear at Tuesday's city council meeting for a silent protest. Residents were asked to move out of Dairy Drive Friday. News 3 Now did see people still at the encampment yesterday afternoon.
It's also still pretty scary. Some people were able to stay here last night. Police action isn't supposed to be implemented as trespassing until Wednesday, but it's very hard for people to secure housing and move out with such short notice. So we're mostly making sure people get fed and water and make sure everyone's healthy and safe and know the community's not leaving them behind.
Community members do plan to protest again at the city council meeting Tuesday. You're taking a live look now at the White House. President Donald Trump says he will send troops to Portland, Oregon. Now, that's to handle domestic terrorists. As Christian Benavides reports, tensions continue to grow.
Overnight, protesters, including some who faced off with officers, gathered in front of an ICE facility in Portland as the city prepares for the deployment of troops by order of President Trump, who said he authorized the use of full force if necessary to protect ICE facilities, which he says are under siege by Antifa.
Have you seen Portland at all? Have you taken a look at what's happening in Portland? It's, I mean, this has been going on for years. It's just people out of control. They're crazy. We're going to stop that very soon.
The deployment is on the heels of last week's shooting targeting an ICE facility in Dallas, where a gunman shot at detainees and agents who were in a van. Bullets found near the scene included ones that the FBI said had the words anti-ICE. 31-year-old Miguel Angel Garcia, a Mexican national, was shot 8 times and is on life support.
I'm so tired. Like, I'm tired of being strong, you know.
Stephanie Goffney, a U.S. citizen, is Garcia's wife. She is pregnant and they share 4 children. She says Garcia was going through the citizenship process when he was arrested for a DUI and picked up by ICE. Tensions have been running high over immigration enforcement. Outside a suburban Chicago ICE facility, federal agents used tear gas and pepper balls to disperse protesters. Several people were arrested. In New York, this federal immigration officer seen shoving a woman to the ground in a courthouse has been placed on leave. Back in Oregon,
there is no insurrection, there is no threat to national security, and there is no need for military troops in our major city.
The state's governor said troops should be dedicated to what she calls real emergencies. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
The National Guard is also set to arrive in Memphis this week as part of the Trump administration's crackdown on crime. Time now 7:06. Up next on Bone Lake, a classic pontoon gets a sweet summer upgrade. How one Wisconsin teen built his business on the water.
And I'll have a full look at the forecast for the upcoming work week. Keep it here. You're watching Weekend Mornings. So like I said earlier, I don't know about you, but I definitely was very warm yesterday. And yes. I thought it was too much.
I mean, too much is a little far from me. I had my door closed and the AC on, but I did take a lovely walk yesterday, and then I went back into the AC because I was sweating. Okay, so
right now, I feel like at this point of the day, AC may not be necessary, but it's certainly going to be necessary again.
A little later?
Yeah, and really all of this week we're going to be seeing those summer-like temperatures continue. As we take a look at the 3 things you need to know summer-like for all of this week with little to no rain. So we're going to continue to see a lot of sunshine. And even after this week, we're going to see those temperatures staying above normal for the foreseeable future. Now, as we take a look at the temperatures for today, again, upper 70s to low 80s, although right now we are in the 40s for a lot of the region. We're going to see those temperatures easily above normal for the afternoon hours. Lows later tonight will be a little bit better compared to this morning, as we're only going to drop into the middle 50s, so a little bit more comfortable in that aspect. But then for Monday afternoon, we're going to be back into the middle 80s. The good news is that the air is a little bit drier, so the heat index values aren't going to be any warmer than the actual temperatures, so it won't feel quite as warm as some of the 80s we saw in the middle of the summer. But in general, these warm temperatures aren't going anywhere. Now, they'll fluctuate a little bit, upper 70s for Wednesday, Thursday, then middle to lower 80s again for Friday and Saturday, 70s then for the end of the 10-day forecast. And looking beyond the next 10 days, the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook shows warmer than average temperatures again for our area. So although we're supposed to be in the upper 60s, we're going to at least be in the 70s and lower 80s throughout the afternoon. Now, taking a look at the overall cloud cover and rainfall forecast, barely any clouds today, barely any clouds tomorrow, maybe for western areas later in the day. And then for Tuesday and Wednesday, we are going to see more cloud cover in general. Still not going to see any rainfall, though. Can't completely rule out a sprinkle here or there, but for the most part, it'll be dry. Maybe some light showers in Minnesota on Thursday, but Wisconsin stays dry. And the thing is that it's not just going to be our area area that will be dry this week. It's really going to be everybody with barely any rain chances until we get to the weekend. That system up in Minnesota will likely move into our region, but it still is not expected to bring a massive amount of precipitation to our region. So as we take a look at the 10-day forecast, again, a little bit of a better chance of rain for the weekend, causing temperatures to cool down just a little bit. Highs will be back in the 70s. Again, still well above normal for this time of the year. And as we take a look at Madison's forecast, very similar, almost completely sunny skies for today and tomorrow. A little bit more cloud cover for the middle of the week as the temperatures fall ever so slightly, and then they're going to rise back up for Friday and Saturday as the completely sunny skies return Friday. And we'll see pretty sunny skies over the weekend, although we are going to see a small chance of rain continuing into next work week as those temperatures drop a little bit. But you don't often see temperatures this above normal this many days in a row. And again, that's going to continue for the foreseeable future right now. So very, very summer-like, despite the fact that it has been the first. This is actually technically the first full week of fall. It's certainly not going to feel like it.
No, it is not. And those temperatures are definitely ice cream temperatures. So even though it's fall, you can still enjoy the last sliver of summer.
Yeah, ice cream season is going to be extended because of this.
Yes, it is. Well, thank you very much, Jacob. Now, you can forget ice cream trucks rolling down the street on Bone Lake, Wisconsin. Ice cream cones, they float by. Boyd Huppert takes you there.
When this music wafts across most neighborhoods, kids run out their front doors. But on Bone Lake in Polk County, Wisconsin, they run out the back.
We're gonna have the red one.
There you go.
Thank you.
Even at 4, Georgia Leopold knows
The strawberry one.
this is special.
We're gonna get you guys.
Any neighborhood
Thank you.
can have an ice cream truck. But on Bone Lake, ice cream floats.
We heard the music and we're like, is that an ice cream boat?
Ice cream boat proprietor
Yep.
Dylan Durhide
So we just kind of made it up on our own.
with Dad Mike as driver
I could hear them. Me too.
gives both dogs and ducks at the 500 cabins on Bone Lake a workout.
Number 12, please.
12.
But it reminds you of the old ice cream trucks when you were smaller that would come down your neighborhood. You could hear that music and you knew what was coming.
How's it going? It was Tyler's Treats originally.
Tyler first bought the Craigslist pontoon, which he sold to younger brother Dylan when he left for college.
I didn't have any money though, so I got a loan from my dad. I loaned my other son the money too, so I think I've bought the boat twice technically at this point.
Not the last time the pontoon's been responsible
This is a lucrative dock.
for a dad being separated from his dollars.
It's like the Pied Piper, and they all run for the dock, and I have to go look for my wallet.
When the trolling is good,
All right, what can I get you?
sales can reach $1,000 or $2,000 a weekend.
Restock lady, yep. Moms have many jobs.
This weekend has been one of those.
There you go.
Thank you.
Their 2-song playlist aside,
I hear it in my sleep sometimes.
not a bad way for a father and son to spend a summer.
Hang out with my dad, get the good weather, make a bunch of people's days.
Thank you. My goal is that every time we come here to have at least one Dippin's desserts.
At a time of year when lake days are numbered,
I want number 8.
ice cream on the water beats a rocky road.
Hey guys!
This is the highlight of the weekend.
Now, when we never lived by a lake,
Yeah.
so there was definitely no floating ice cream, but
That
the trucks.
sound.
Yes, that sound.
That sound
It's-
brings me back.
It's the nostalgia.
Yeah.
And the trucks, I would always go get that, the Bubbles Powerpuff Girl. That
I
was
always
my
got
go-to.
the SpongeBob one.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. See, that was my second option if they were out.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the thing that kids get all the time. You know, the ice cream theme to one of their childhood like shows or characters. Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's so nostalgic.
And it's so great to see that happening right here in Wisconsin on a lake. I've never seen.
That's pretty awesome.
It is. Our Wisconsin teens, look at them go. Well, in some consumer news this morning, if you bought an Oster French door countertop oven in the last 5 years. We're talking to you. 1.4 million are being recalled due to a burn hazard. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the oven doors can close unexpectedly, creating a burn risk. 95 reports of the issue resulted in burn injuries. 4 models sold online and at various retailers nationwide are being recalled. If you bought between August 2015 and July of this year, stop using that countertop oven. Contact Sunbeam for a free repair kit. That kit has a clip-on device to help keep those doors open when reaching into the oven. And all the pen pals out there are in luck. The United States Postal Service says prices will not rise again at the beginning of the year. That includes the price for market-dominant products like first-class mail. The price of a stamp will hold where it is at 78 cents into early 2026 as well. The Postmaster General says not to expect price changes until mid-next year. Still ahead on weekend mornings, we're taking you to the duck pond and showing you what True North has to offer. And before the break, you know what to do. Send me a song with the subject. Email Mr. Quinn at WISC-TV.com and tune in on weekend mornings to hear your song. We'll be right back.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back. The True North Festival is back and featuring some of the best food and music in southern Wisconsin. Our Nash Dara shows us the sights and sounds from the festival.
I am here at the Duck Pond at the north side of Madison, where usually you'd be here to watch a baseball or softball game, but today there is a special event that is a bit different. Today Warner Park is hosting the first ever True North Festival. The event on Saturday is the place to be. The baseball diamond features a giant stage surrounded by some great local food from Madison. Then on the concourse, right as you enter, you can find some local artists as well as some areas for the kids to hang out.
We feel very grateful and joyful that we're here today, and there's an 80-degree perfect night, and we're here to party and have a great time.
Co-founder of the event, Matt Girding, has been working on making this festival a reality for months, and he is stoked to see it has finally come to life.
All the bands have all been promoting, and there hasn't been a festival like this on the north side ever, and so we're really excited to bring a little bit of festival love over here.
And all the shops in the area want to be a part of that love.
We're very much into supporting community, and that's why this kind of event is so wonderful, because there's so many different businesses that are going to be profiting within our community from this event, and we're just really happy to be a part of it.
At the Duck Pond, Nash Dara, News 3 Now.
Well, I definitely think everybody out there will be walking on sunshine as they head out to the duck pond.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of sunshine lately as well, really for most of the month. If we take a look at the amount of rainfall that we have seen, there hasn't really been much. We are pretty easily below normal, and we're not going to see any more rain for the rest of the month. So Madison will likely end the month about 2 inches below what we normally see. Now, as we take a look at the amount of rain we've seen for the entire year, we've kind of been pretty close to the normal, but the dry weather lately has brought the normal above what this year is for Madison. And we aren't really seeing drought conditions form yet, but there are some abnormally dry conditions starting to move into far southern Wisconsin, and the dry weather that's expected for this week and potentially into early next week, that may continue to bring more of that abnormally dry into the region, if not create potentially some drought conditions. So although it's going to be nice and warm, we would like to see some rain eventually. And right now there is some rain in the forecast for next week and early next week, but from now until at least early Saturday, we're going to be probably completely dry.
Well, I guess a watering can won't be helpful for us, but maybe next Saturday, Sunday. I remember seeing those clouds and rains in the 10-day.
Yeah, that may continue into early next week as well.
Thanks, Jacob. Before we head to break, here's a look at your gas prices. We'll be right back after this. Right now at 7:30, an arrest is made in connection to the killing of a Canadian tourist on a golf trip. The charges one local man is facing.
And it's going to be another very summer-like week here in Wisconsin. I'll have the full forecast coming up.
Plus, a protest in motion. How community members are speaking up for folks being displaced at the Dairy Drive encampment. It's Sunday morning. Thanks for waking up with us. Today is September 28th, and I'm your weekend morning anchor, Michelle Renee Quinn. We're beginning this morning with breaking news overnight. 3 people are dead and at least 8 more are injured in North Carolina after a shooting. Around 9:30 last night, Southport Police Department responded to shots fired at restaurant American Fish Company. Just before the call, a boat with 1 person on it traveling on the Cape Fear River stopped briefly at the American Fish Company and opened fire. Officials confirmed the victims were patrons of the American Fish Company.
So if you're not familiar with that location, the American Fish Company is one of our unique areas here, one of our establishments where patrons will sit out on the water, actually facing the water. And unfortunately, that is where our suspect was located, taking shots.
The Coast Guard crew detained the suspect, who is now held by the Oak Island Police Department and will be turned over to Southport PD for questioning. Now let's start with a look at that forecast, and Jacob Montesano has that. He's live in our studio in Madison. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle Renee. As we take a look outside from Platteville, showing completely clear skies, and this is what we saw yesterday. This is what we're going to see for most of today as well. Now, right now, we are seeing some chilly temperatures, upper 40s for Madison surrounding areas, but lower 40s further north, still in the 50s in far southern Wisconsin, but certainly cooler compared to this time yesterday, about 10 to 15 degrees cooler, especially for areas to the further to the north and west. Now, as we take a look at the forecast for the rest of the day, we are going to be seeing plenty of sunshine with high temperatures in the upper 70s, so it's going to warm up very quickly. And the temperatures, although they may be a few degrees cooler compared to yesterday, they're still going to be easily above normal. And again, plenty of sunshine. Overall, a very nice forecast is in store for us. Very light wind as well. And in general, we're going to continue to see these above normal temperatures. And I'll have more on that coming up a bit later.
We'll check in shortly. Thanks, Jacob. In today's top stories, a Sheboygan man is being charged with first-degree reckless homicide. This is in connection to the shooting that killed a Canadian tourist.
32-year-old Giovanni Robinson, better known as Mike, pictured here at Whistling Straits after his first hole-in-one Tuesday. Hours later, his Wisconsin golf getaway turned deadly.
It's the worst phone call I've ever had, yeah. It brought me to my knees.
The Canadian shot and killed while walking along downtown Sheboygan Falls with his brother-in-law and 2 friends. Robinson welcomed a baby girl just weeks ago, and his entire family was getting ready to celebrate his sister's wedding.
My sister's wedding is going to be now my brother's funeral.
Prosecutors say the man who pulled the trigger is 35-year-old Luis Cruz Burgos, a Sheboygan man now charged with first-degree reckless homicide. According to the criminal complaint, Robinson and his golf group celebrated his hole-in-one at a downtown Sheboygan Falls bar. The complaint says they tried to get an Uber back to their Kohler hotel, but couldn't. Prosecutors say the men started walking, then tried to negotiate a cash ride with a driver, who investigators believe was Cruz Burgos, driving for DoorDash in the area. The complaint says police obtained surveillance that picked up audio of the interaction. One man saying he was not going to, quote, give him $40 for 5 minutes of work. Another man in the group told investigators Cruz Burgos drove off, but then says the SUV doubled back. He told police that's when he heard a pop, and then Robinson say, quote, I'm dying.
His brother-in-law held him in his arms, tried to bring him back.
In an interview with police, Cruz Burgos first told police he saw the men walking, but did not make contact with them. He later admitted speaking to them about a ride, saying the men were calling him stupid and that one of them flipped him off. Prosecutors say Cruz Burgos told police he did not witness anyone shoot a firearm.
Nationally, President Donald Trump is calling on Microsoft to fire one of its top executives. Lisa Monaco served as Deputy Attorney General in the Biden administration. She was recently hired by Microsoft as President of Global Affairs. In a social media post Friday, Trump called Monaco a, quote, menace to U.S. national security and cited the major contracts that Microsoft has with the government. The post ended with Trump saying that, in his opinion, Microsoft should terminate her. The move follows Trump's pattern of publicly targeting perceived political enemies and comes one day after former FBI Director James Comey's indictment. There was no immediate response from Microsoft. Around 20 people are displaced this morning after the city decided they will not renew the contract for the Dairy Drive homeless encampment. Roughly 30 people united in protest to speak out against this decision yesterday. They met outside of the encampment to make T-shirts and tote bags that they plan to wear at Tuesday's city council meeting. That's for a silent protest. Residents were asked to move out of Dairy Drive Friday, and News 3 Now did see some people still at the encampment yesterday afternoon.
It's also still pretty scary. Some people were able to stay here last night. Police action isn't supposed to be implemented as trespassing until Wednesday, but it's very hard for people to secure housing and move out with such short notice. So we're mostly making sure people get fed and water and make sure everyone's healthy and safe and know the community's not leaving them behind.
Community members do plan to protest again at the city council meeting Tuesday. Food, music, art, clothing, these are all just a few things that make up a culture. And those were all celebrated yesterday at the 6th annual Sun Prairie Multicultural Fair. Yesterday, Sheehan Park was home to cultural dances and cuisine.
Sun Prairie and Wisconsin and Madison area in general has a very large Hmong population. Right behind you, we've got one of our vendors who are selling drums and woven baskets. From Africa, and so we've also got food vendors who are selling a variety of food. One of our vendors is Cafe Costa Rica, so selling Costa Rican food from his heritage.
The event's goal is to create an inclusive atmosphere for all backgrounds. President Trump issued a new round of bruising tariffs set to take effect Wednesday, citing manufacturing and national security concerns. He's putting 100% import taxes on pharmaceutical drugs, 50% on kitchen cabinets and bathroom vanities, 30% on upholstered furniture, and 25% on heavy trucks. Now, those big rigs are how your groceries get to the store, so consumers could see that tax trickle down to prices. As for drug companies, if they've broken ground or are in new construction in the U.S., they are exempt. AstraZeneca also announced it will cut some direct-to-patient prices. Plus, Amazon is refunding customers in a historic settlement with the FTC. This stems from a case accusing the company of duping customers into signing up for its Prime service and then making it difficult to cancel. Amazon did not admit wrongdoing, but will pay $1 billion in civil penalties and $1.5 billion in relief to impacted customers. Let's check in now with Jacob Montesano. What are we tracking?
Well, for lacrosse, we're going to see conditions very similar to what you folks saw yesterday. Madison saw highs in the 80s. Lacrosse saw highs in the upper 70s, and that's where you folks will be today. Now, across the area, pretty much everybody will see highs easily above normal, at least in the 70s, if not maybe a few lower 80s out there. The 80s are especially going to impact southwest Wisconsin, and if you think it's going to be warm today, tomorrow, maybe even warmer than yesterday. Certainly expected to be warmer than today, as those highs are expected to get back into the middle 80s. So it's going to continue to be very summer-like. But I'll talk more about the rest of the work week still coming up a bit later, and I'll also tell you about the updated tropic situation, as it is pretty active at this point in time.
I cannot complain about the temperatures because I know I'm going to be freezing in just a month. So
I'm ready to be freezing because I always say you can bundle up, but you can't escape the heat when you're outside.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Well, before the break, we're sharing some morning motivation. We have a quote from Sam Levinson this morning.
Don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going. And this really reminds me of that one Fleetwood Mac song, Don't Stop Thinking About Tomorrow. It'll soon be here. You know, just like kind of lets, time do its thing and do the best you can to enjoy it while you have it.
Absolutely, I agree. And a lot of times people are focusing on the past and things that we can't change, but what can we do?
Yeah.
We have to keep going.
I'm sure all of us probably, whenever I'm thinking about the past, I always think about my quote unquote cringe moments. I assume everyone does
Everybody
that.
has a cringe moment.
But keep focusing on the future.
Yes, you're watching Weekend Mornings. Breast Cancer Awareness Month begins Wednesday, and it's a time for women to start thinking about scheduling a mammogram. After the break, Dr. Rupa Shah joins News 3 Now's Kyrian Lee for this morning's health conversation.
Plus, I'll continue having more on the upcoming work week. Keep it here. It's Weekend Mornings.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Women preparing to have their first mammogram may be a little nervous, but there are some things you can do to make it a more comfortable experience. Dr. Rupa Shah, a family medicine physician and wellness coach at SSM Health, joins me to talk about ways you can make it a bit easier. Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So first, what is the recommended age to start getting mammograms? I know it's changed over the years.
Yeah, and I think there's been a little bit of confusion because the problem too is there's different organizations who put out different guidelines. But just remember, Personally, I think that the average woman of average risk should start mammograms at age 40, okay? And then annually thereafter. Now, if you have a strong family history of breast cancer, then your screening may be moved up a bit, or it might be important to see a genetics counselor, and you may qualify for really more aggressive screening, which can involve, it could look like something like mammograms and MRIs alternating every 6 months. But age 40 is when the average woman should start mammogram screening.
So what can we do before the mammogram appointment to prepare?
Yeah, so ideally, if you can, it's a good idea to schedule your mammogram about a week after your period ends, because in this time frame, your breasts are going to be less sore and less tender, so it's going to make it a more overall comfortable experience. The other thing is make sure you're not wearing any lotions, deodorants, anything in the underarm, which can impact the clarity of the films. Usually, they'll give you a wipe or something that you can remove that stuff. Wear comfortable clothing, like a two-piece is ideal because you're going to have to take your top half off, but you can keep your bottom half on. And then if you need to bring a friend or somebody else as a support person just to make you feel more comfortable as well. And then always just let your technician know that if you're uncomfortable, if anything is pinching, hurting, they're going to be happy to adjust the mammogram machine for you.
What questions should we be asking?
Yeah, so really just follow the instructions of the technician. They've been doing these for a long time. They know exactly what they're doing. But the best thing is when they ask you to stay still and take a deep breath and hold your breath, just make sure you stay as still as possible, because again, that leads to pictures that are very clear and crisp, and you'll probably need to do that. They take about 4 views, so it's only 4 short bursts that you need to hold your breath, and if you can do that, then you'll be all set and it'll be over quickly.
All good. Yeah. So make sure you're scheduling those appointments on time.
Definitely. Yeah,
all right.
Do not skip.
All right. Well, Dr. Shah, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thanks for having me.
We're very quiet here in Wisconsin, but that's not the case in the Atlantic. Right now, Hurricane Humberto, a Category 5 hurricane at this point, wind speeds up to 155 miles per hour, but thankfully the track is really keeping it out in the Atlantic. Now, Bermuda might be seeing some of the outer bands of the storm impact the area, but it's going to stay well away from the United States. But this orange that you're seeing near Florida is still a tropical storm warning for this storm. Now, right now, it's just categorized as storm number 9, not a tropical storm or hurricane yet, but it is expected to strengthen into one, and it will likely, if it does, it will be called Imelda. Now, as we take a look at the timing of all this, for the next couple of days, this storm is really going to hug the eastern coast of Florida and also the coast of Georgia and the Carolinas. But again, Humberto, the stronger of the two, will stay mostly out into the Atlantic. But this could definitely strengthen into a hurricane, bringing in plenty of rainfall for parts of the southeastern United States and also some storm surge. So we still could see some damage out there, but this is not expected to be a catastrophic storm, especially considering the worst of the two, again, staying out further east in the Atlantic.
Jacob, thank you. The time now is 7:44. Still ahead, Sports Director Andrew Banstra brings you the huddle. But first, Jacob will be back with your full forecast when we are back on Weekend Mornings. And before we head to break, we've got a special birthday to celebrate. Yesterday, Colton turned 3. Everybody here at Weekend Mornings is wishing you a very happy birthday.
Welcome back. Here's a final look at the 3 things you need to know. Staying very summer-like all of this week with little to no rain in the forecast. And even beyond this week, where we may drop a little bit, we're still going to see those temperatures pretty easily above normal. Now, looking outside, here's another live view from Platteville showing plenty of clear skies. Temperatures chilly right now, but the clear skies is what we're going to continue to see all day, with those temperatures warming up easily into the 70s, if not potentially the lower 80s, especially the lower 80s, especially in southwest Wisconsin. Now for tomorrow, we are going to be seeing those temperatures warm up even further. Middle 80s are in the forecast. Once again, almost completely sunny skies. And then looking at the temperatures compared to normal, they're going to remain easily above normal over the next 10 days, really over the past 2 weeks as well. Most of the days have been above normal, with one exception being September 24th. But the next 10 days, every day is expected to be above that normal level. Now, as we take a look at the cloud cover and rainfall forecast, pretty much no clouds today. A few clouds later in the day Monday, but still very sunny skies. Tuesday and Wednesday will feature a little bit more cloud cover. I can't completely rule out an isolated sprinkle, but for the most part, we are going to stay very dry. Might drop the temperatures a little bit, but still going to remain above normal. Thursday going to remain dry as well, and it's not just here in Wisconsin that will be dry. Pretty much the entire surrounding areas are expected to be dry. Maybe some light showers in Minnesota, but that will be just about it. And as we take a look at these temperatures, again, they are going to be easily in the 80s for some days, but even those days that aren't in the 80s, they're going to easily be in the 70s with overnight lows in the 50s and 60s. So the overnight lows are also going to be above normal going forward. This morning's kind of been the exception with those overnight lows, as it is pretty close to normal and fairly chilly out there right now. But again, these temperatures are going to warm up very, very quickly. Plenty of sunshine. Almost completely dry weather this week. Definitely get out and enjoy the weather. This is likely going to be the warmest stretch of air we see for quite a while. Probably not until the end of until next year, as we see those temperatures warm back up in the spring and summer. So 80s a lot of the days, but if not in the 80s, in the 70s, and very, very above normal.
We'll take it. Thanks, Jacob. Wisconsin football is on a bye week this weekend, preparing for a rigorous Big Ten slate. And this week's Wisconsin Huddle, Sports Director Andrew Banstra found out it gives the Badgers a chance to reset.
What does a bye week maybe change in terms of how you differ your preparation, and kind of, do you get more time to chill? I mean, in my mind, you get time to just lay down, watch some TikToks, I don't know, whatever it is you like to do, play some cornhole maybe.
Right. No doubt. You get some time off, especially after the game. You get 2 days off. I mean, 1 day's off, the next day's meetings and all that, but it's an off day for us. Really for the older guys, kind of trying to take care of our bodies a little bit, letting the older guy or the younger guys get some more reps, put some miles on their legs a little bit. We practice just as hard, and then, but we cut it down, so then Friday, Saturday we'll have off. Sunday we'll come in for meetings, and then Monday starts the work week again.
And when you're looking ahead to that schedule in October, it's one of the toughest in the country, and you guys knew that coming in. Do you even think about that slate, or kind of is it more about just getting better at the things that you guys do best? How do you maybe think about that month of October?
Yeah, I mean, if we don't focus on what we do best and what we got to improve on, I mean, that stretch doesn't mean nothing, you know what I mean? So we got to worry about where we are now, what we got to fix now, and then once that stretch comes, we'll be there.
You can join Andrew for next week's Wisconsin Huddle live at Jay's Bar in Madison. That's on Monday at 7 p.m. tomorrow, featuring a new co-host, Wisconsin Volleyball's Jada Chernelia.
And the defending women's hockey national champs are back in action today. The Badger women taking on the Beavers of Bemidji State. Bucky starts off hot, scoring 3 goals in the first period. This rebound goal from Cassie Hall in the dying seconds gives the Badgers a momentum boost heading into intermission. And then we skip now to period 3, where Kirsten Sims has a nice wrist shot off the left-hand post. They go up 5-0. They'll win the game 5-0, and the Badgers start off 2-0 and head home to play Maine in their season opener.
Still ahead on Weekend Mornings, today's event in McFarland. Plus, here's a look on what's to come on For the Record.
Coming up on For the Record, Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin putting a pause on abortions. How are lawmakers reacting? And after months of speculation, the biggest name yet enters the race for Wisconsin's next governor. We sit down one-on-one with Republican Congressman Tom Tiffany. That's ahead this morning at 10:30 on For the Record. You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Community Festival today. The festival and live music continue throughout the weekend, and attendees are able to see historical walking tours, Madison Circus Entertainment's jugglers and stilt walkers. And I'll be out there this afternoon, so if you're attending the parade, I'll be there to give you a wave and throw some candy.
Sounds like fun.
Right. You want to come?
No, a little too hot for me.
Oh, I knew you were going to say
Plus,
that.
wait, what time is it again?
The parade starts at noon.
I'll be watching football, sorry.
Oh, the sporto.
You're right. It's also, again, it's going to be too hot for me, honestly.
So for those who are going to the parade, we don't need an umbrella. It's nice and warm. Can you just give us the rundown one last time?
Yeah, so pretty much no cloud cover, with temperatures mostly in the 70s, maybe some lower 80s by the middle afternoon, especially in southwest Wisconsin, but a lot of the area will see highs in the 70s. Then a lot of the area will see those 80s return for Monday. Still seeing plenty of sunshine, a little bit more cloud cover once we get towards the middle of the week, but still staying warm, and still staying warm into the end of the week as we do see a chance of rain. Early next week, we may see those temperatures fall a little bit, but they're still going to be very easily above normal. There's really no end in sight to these warm temperatures.
All right, thanks, Jacob. And thank you folks at home for watching Weekend Mornings. Coming up next is CBS Sunday Morning, followed by Face the Nation and For the Record. Our next newscast is coming up at 5:30 p.m. And as always, find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+.